just now to Raman that the more he speaks, and then after that, Dimitri, the more he speaks, the less I will, because lunch is calling. But then, I guess we're here to share. And I humbly stand before you to share Singapore. And I shall try to make this short so that we could have more time for discussion. Singapore is only 625 square kilometers, with 4.5 million people. But at the same time, we are known for efficiency, transparent government, and rate of progress. But you know, by itself, we need to do more. So I will share you what we can do. Okay. The next slide I'm going to show is a picture of Mr. Jacques Rao announcing the winning of the 2010 Olympic Games. But we edited that part out because it's a known fact. But the later half, you just see how the kids, the youth that day were screaming. And I'll add a little more anecdote after that.
For this first Youth Olympics, I'm confident.
Okay, that was our Prime Minister speaking. But you know, what you do not know was that we brought 5,000 people there and put the event together in less than 2 days. To bid for the Youth Olympic Games, we only had 2 months. And we had Moscow on the final 2. And a lot of my friends and a lot of people in Singapore at the time was like, wow, that's it, that's Moscow. And we have never had a hosting of any major games before. And how are we going to do all this? But you see, that's what led to the spirit of can do. That's what led to the spirit of saying, let's give it all we can. And as a result of that, when we won, it was something quite unbelievable. And you know, we can't make mistakes. Singapore is small. So we try very hard to make sure that for every kind of resource that we put in, we make it work. So Singapore is actually going through a period of rapid transformation, especially sports in Singapore. It's really happening. And what we're trying to look at now is basically diversifying our economy and to make it a really nice place to live and work. Because Singapore was just founded in 1965. In a short period of time, we now have a generation of people who have seen a lot. And sitting in this room, I'm sure many of us will be wondering how many of you are in the baby boomers? Quite a lot. And how many of you are in the Gen Y, Gen X, and now coming up Gen Z, if there was one. So the language between the gaps in generations means that we need to do something to unify that. And Singapore is such a multi-racial country, 4 major races. Dimitri talked about Sochi with over 100 different nationalities. I guess it's the same as Singapore and domestic asset, but you know, it's beyond the language, it's beyond all that. So we realize that sports is a secular language that transcends all nationalities and race and religion, and it's this common language that calls us now to focus on youth and new generation to be able to then focus on that secular language and unite as one people. So we're trying to attract new people. We're going to try people to come and work, to invest, and hope to retain the world's best talent. And you think about it, the people who are in sports are usually people of great talent. Because sports requires discipline, requires determination, you know, all the kind of attitudes and spirits that make you excel. If you think about it, people in triathlons and triathletes, they themselves usually, a big cluster of them are CEOs or people who are highly successful, because to be good in triathlon, you have to be very disciplined. And sometimes my friends joke that if you were to go to a triathlon and go to the bike park, that is a very expensive place of commodity because each bike averages about 15,000. So it's not the bags, go for the bikes. So what is a Singapore event in sports brand? And we kind of say, okay, why is Singapore the choice? This is a picture of a changing skyline. What you may not realize is this is the current skyline right now. But on the left, we have already designed a piece of land where the second financial district will be built. And this was planned some 20 years ago. Right now, this forms part of the whole Marina Bay, and this is our art center. The Sands Casino and the integrated resort that's going to be built and open in the next 2 years is going to bring about 30,000 more new jobs. So we hope to be able to say that because Singapore is it's global, we're a global city, we're right in the middle in Southeast Asia, we're young, vibrant, multicultural, and our every organizational capabilities and world-class facilities that we have. We're the world's busiest ports. If we take on all these assets and capitalize on them, I'm quite sure that it shows that we should be ready to try to reinvent ourselves each time. And we're committed to growing the game in Asia, and sports is one big genre for us. So we looked at it and we feel and we believe that sports energizes and enriches the lives of our people. We've just started a program called Let's Play, because sometimes you think too much about sports. The old days when you climb trees, these days we have to think about equipment and stuff, but what happened to the fun of just playing football or soccer in the rain, in the mud? How about just sloshing it out in a rugby game? So we came out and said, the today's generation think too much. It's all about studies and work and all that. And just play. And I found out recently that New Zealand, Spark, our partner and equivalent and counterpart, they have a program they call Push to Play or Push Play. They've gone through 7 years of this. So doing Let's Play is equivalent to high participation in many countries. We think that Singapore can be a great place to work and play. So other than the fact that we work very hard to make sure that we earn our keep, there's a chance to play, to enjoy, and in the same time attract tourists. Now, how do we do that? Let me give you an example. Singapore Marathon 5 years ago was the only road race in Singapore, only one road race. Right now in Singapore, there are 13 road races. And we have just spread it across so that every month there is a major road race. Why? So that if you are a runner, you think about businessmen, think about going to a city, you think about what events it could be, what festivals it could be. If you're a runner, you would think about coming to Singapore over this weekend because there's going to be a 10K run that they can take part. And that becomes a change in thinking of how people work and play and how Singapore can position itself as a global city. It's one of the many, many stories.